they progress. All right, let's get into the main event. We're talking about preparing for live events. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about are the things you should handle whether you are being seen on a live event or the production or whatever production it is. I mean, sometimes you do a webinar and you have a picture in picture where you're being seen, but even if you're not being seen and only being heard, you need a great internet connection. All right. Some of you are out in the boondocks and don't even have access to one. I would seriously consider getting one of those share offices in a more closer to town if you're in that situation, and get a good fast internet connection, and then whenever possible plug in with a Cat 5e cable. This is called an Ethernet cable. It's always faster than Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi has to go through the airwaves and subject to more interference. So just get yourself a Cat 5e cable and you plug it into your router where your internet comes into your house or your office, and then run the cable and stick it into your computer. That's all we're talking about. You don't have any technical skills involved here, but you want a Cat 5e cable. You want the E on it because Cat 5 is the older, slower technology. So Cat 5e or anything above Cat 6 is fine, or whatever else they have that's above Cat 5e. Okay, so the next thing is your sound and your microphone and stuff. Now, please invest in a good microphone. Nothing makes you look and sound so more ghetto as a pitiful microphone and poor sound quality, and ignoring the things that make you sound better. Maybe you don't even realize them because you're not listening on the other end as a person would listen to you. So you got to get a good microphone. These earbuds with the things, the microphone from Apple, they suck. Very seldom do they ever work right. It's going to rub against your clothes and make noises, and it's going to, and especially if you're a podcast guest, I think episode 211, you go to screwthecommute.com/211, tells you how to be a great podcast guest. Well, having poor sound quality makes you sound bad to the podcast host, so the less chance of getting invited back. Makes you sound bad to the listeners who you're trying to be in front of, new people that never heard of you. You don't want to sound bad. So record yourself and then listen to it, and have some other people with good ears listen to it through good quality headphones so that they see what you really sound like. I get so many people that come on the podcast and they have lip smacks, and this is a thing that you can work on, not doing lip smacks. Because anything you do wrong on your audio causes trouble for the either the listeners or the podcast host, who has to pay somebody to edit them out, if even possible to edit them out. Things called plosives, where I'm going to do it on purpose. I'm going to say P. I'm going to get rid of my pop screen. P. That's called a plosive. You'll hear how bad it sounds. I'm going to leave it on this recording because a lot of times you can't even edit them out because they're so bad and they run into your words and stuff. I've covered a lot of this stuff in my audio episodes, getting ready for audio books and everything else. So you should go back and listen to those episodes. And avoid cheap noise canceling headsets. These things suck. They're just bad, bad, bad. I always have trouble with people with them, and I remember who used them, and I don't want to invite them back because it just caused me enormous trouble with editing. See, and a lot of the stuff, it just sounds bad. I can't fix it, and that's nobody wants that. And then pay attention to eliminating feedback. Virtually always you should be wearing headsets because of feedback loops. Now, if you don't understand what a feedback loop is, or feedback, maybe you've been at a live event and heard a squeal coming from the speakers. Well, what happens is if you're talking and maybe you're having an interview with somebody and or they're talking back to you, and their voice or their sound comes out of your speakers in your computer,